This here is the Xiaomi 17T, and it's paired with Leica lenses. In today's video, I'm going to be heading around the streets of Chinatown, Soho, and probably Piccadilly, getting a couple of photos to see how this performs as a street photography camera. I did a video like this recently with Oppo, and I want to see how this compares in my mind. All of the photos in today's video are edited with my Lightroom presets. There's a link to those down in the description. If you've ever bought anything from my website, you're going to be automatically entered into winning this phone. So if you go and buy anything now, you'll also be entered in as well. So there's presets, there's other things on there. You can buy my creator course if you want to go full-time as a photographer or filmmaker. I run through everything I've learned over the last 12 years. That's only £30, I think it is. £12 for my presets, and you get entered in to get given this phone. So someone, even if you've bought before and you don't have it now, anyone that's bought anything from my website over the last 6 years will be entered into this giveaway anyway. So if you want to be also entered in, just make sure you buy the presets, or you can just go ahead and buy the course, which is probably, in my opinion, the best bet because you end up getting way more knowledge. Let's jump into the video and see what we can find. So the way I'm going to be shooting is I'm going to be shooting everything on the Pro setting. So basically I'm going to be in the camera, on the phone, in Pro, shooting RAW. Now, with the wide lens on 0.6, you only get a 12.5 megapixel lens, but on the others, so 1x and 5x, you have the 50 megapixels. So it's, I would say, shoot on 1x and 5x to get the higher quality image. And I'm shooting in RAW, so I can edit these photos with my presets. You could do it straight on your phone, or you could do it in desktop, either way. So starting off, let's go 5x. We're just gonna get a nice shot of the lanterns up above, like so. Maybe a shot of this dude here. Now, this is literally the first time I'm using this phone. So I'm learning as well as you're seeing, so it's a bit of both. To be honest, phones these days are just genuinely really good at just taking shots very easily. The photos themselves always end up looking really good and sharp. I did a video recently with the Oppo, and the content was great. The photos were great, everything looked amazing, and I'm not expecting anything less from this. Now, that being said, this isn't a sponsored video. They have gifted me this phone to give away, so I'm making no profit from this phone, and I'm giving it back to you guys, to anyone that's bought any of my products over the last 6 years. But if you want to be involved, you can also just go ahead and buy something now, and I will choose somebody in, let's say, 10 days. 10 days time, I will pick somebody, so 10 days from the upload day, I will pick somebody to win this phone. So just buy something, or if you have already, then you don't have to worry about it. Let's see what we can get. I'll do a couple of loops around Chinatown, Soho area. So strap in, grab yourself a drink, grab some snacks. I'm gonna try and not cut too much because I like to show kind of how it is, and this is the reality. It's a bit quiet, a bit dead. It's early in the morning. Lots of vans going around because they're doing the morning deliveries, which sometimes in the right light can look really good. But when it's a bit grey, especially in London, a lot of the vans are white and black, so it doesn't really give the same vibe. But it might be nice to get a little, just a normal little shot like this. I'm gonna get a slice actually. So 5x lens in RAW, 50 megapixel, like so. I do know actually there is a nice shot around this side where there's a mirror on the wall. So as you walk down the street on the right, there's a mirror on the wall, but it normally works when it's busy out rather than vans, because the vans are kind of taking up the space. There's a guy stood there, so this is the shot by here. But yeah, typically I get this photo when it's not so busy out there, because obviously the vans look a bit shit. But going this way, you kind of go in the back rooms, the back alleys of Chinatown, which looks cool. There's a guy scraping and painting down here. There is always, the smell down here is always insane. So we're gonna go 1x. And we're going to walk past this guy and try and get a shot of him doing what he's doing. He's just vanishing. Not sure why that was on timer. It's a bit weird. Decided it was going to take its time. So we'll go 5 times. And maybe shoot back this way. It's not a bad frame. Maybe this dude. No. Maybe down towards the lanterns. That's actually pretty nice. Just 2 people down the end. See if we can get this dude. Now, what I will say is I've noticed it's a little bit slow on when I'm pressing the button. I don't know if there's a setting I can change. Again, like I just said, first time using the phone, not entirely sure. So I like to just pick a device up, whether it's a phone or a camera, and just go and shoot with it, because that's normally how consumers would use it. They would just go and pick it up and start trying to use it. And I like to try and find my way like a normal person would, rather than like sitting there going for all the specs and blah, blah, blah. That's at least how I work and operate. And it also gives me the best kind of feel for how things are. It's quite a nice reflective thing. Could probably do like a 1 times. But there is someone over there. Maybe we can get him in the distance. There is a slight delay on when you press the shutter and it takes the photo. When I did recently do an Oppo video, I didn't have that issue. So we did a bit of a double back on ourselves here. So I'll go back this way and go around the other side. And then let's have a look. There's a guy dragging a pallet, so maybe we can do a little 5 times slice like this. Okay, so for some reason, so when you use the side button initially, so if I'm using the side button to take a photo, it does a countdown instead of just taking the photo, instead of it being instant. Whereas when you use the shutter, it's instant. I'm assuming that is a setting that can be changed. Normally it's just the same, so I'm not sure why that's different. I'm not going to go and fiddle around with it now, but it's good to know. So let's see, we can probably get this person here. It's a nice little shot with a bit of a reflection as well. Always, whenever you're walking through Chinatown or London or any city actually, don't just keep your eyes at street level. Always look up. For example, now there's no one there now, but there's a window up here. I'll just show you on the screen. There's a window up there, and I can guarantee you that that window is probably open because somebody probably leans out of that and smokes. And I've seen it before. So always look up, because that would be such a cool photo to get, where you get someone hanging out of the side, having a bit of a smoke, having a vape while they're hanging out the side of the window. Looks kind of cool. And it is a restaurant, so it'd just be a worker working in the restaurant or whatever. So worth looking up sometimes as well, instead of just keeping your eyes at street level. Lots of cool reflections, but these vans are in the way at the moment and it doesn't look great. Let's meander down this way. Now, one of the advantages, of course, not one of, but one of the, I would say the main advantage to phones is just how easy it is to get photos. There's a guy in here doing some work, which is quite cool. Getting the sparks. Amazing PPE going on, no glasses, and wearing shorts. Fantastic. I'm sure he won't mind. Now, heading round into this street is normally my favourite street, because it's normally a bit quieter than the other one, but during the mornings it is just full of, you could see, right? It's just full of people doing deliveries. But there's a nice shot to be had. We have one of the lanterns that's fallen into the puddle on the floor. Now, I think this will be a 0.6 shot, but again, that does reduce to 12 megapixels. Just good to know, good to keep in mind. So we'll probably get one like this. And then we'll do one the other side with a bit more of reflection. Let's go 1 time, just get the person to go through the frame as well. We go lovely. Maybe use that. If we go 5 times, no, doesn't work. The 1 times will work. We've got some rain droplets kind of falling down here. If we go 5 times, that'll look quite nice. If we get the lanterns in the background. I'm gonna get a few shots of this just so I know I get the right shot. Nice. Let's carry on. There's a guy up here working, which might be quite a nice frame at 5 times. Probably get a little bit closer, to be honest with you. See, that's another problem, right? See, so when you go 0.6, right, it swaps to the 12.5. For some reason, it's gone off the RAW. See, these little things are annoying with phones. So I'm gonna have to get all these shots again. And I'm leaving all this in because I want you to see the reality of, how this works. So when I swapped to 0.6, then it went to JPEG for some silly reason. I'm not entirely sure why. I can still edit the JPEGs, but they just won't edit as well. We'll get 1 at 1 times as well. If I just swap to this side quickly. It's a better photo because you remove the cars on the side there. Now, see, when I swapped then from 0.6 to 1 times, it stayed at 12.5 megapixels instead of automatically swapping to the highest value. So then I have to press it myself. So it's little things like that you have to remember when, starting using a new device or doing something new, is there will always be little caveats like that where you just have to check yourself and make sure that you're getting the highest possible quality. Okay. Now let's go and get this shot. There's actually a nice 3-layered shot here. 3 workers doing their thing, which is quite nice. Just get this one. Which is cool. So it's just good to remember little things like that, and that's not going to be this. I'm sure there's settings that you can change that would stop that from happening, but I'm leaving all this in just so you can see the reality of it. I've literally opened this last night, I charged it, drove into London, got off the train and started this video, and this is the first time using it, and I'm just showing you the reality of that. So we're starting to get a bit of rain, hoping that it's going to rain a bit heavier, because it would be a bit of a vibe to get those shots. I'm kind of going to go right on myself and then go around to Piccadilly area, but around the back. I do have an umbrella on me, just in case it gets torrential, because I don't really want to get soaking wet. We will see. I think we can probably get a nice shot of the first archway up here. If there's a puddle, normally there's a nice puddle you can get a shot with. Let's have a look. There is one. It's going to be a 0.6 shot though, if I'm going to try and get it all in, but I think that'll be a bit of a push because it seems quite close. So let's go 0.6, make sure we're in RAW, get down as low as we can. It does work, but I'm going to angle down and favour the reflection. And then we're going to get people walking through the frame, hopefully. Might have to wait a second to get somebody, but it's worth the photo. I could probably actually get this at 1x, to be honest. So we can have a quick look. Now I've got that locked in my memory, I can just change that every time I go back to 1x. 1x is probably a better shot, higher quality, looks better. Just tapping on the screen so it focuses where I want it to. I'll get this shot while I'm waiting for someone to walk through the frame, but I will happily wait for someone. Right, this guy's going to walk through it. I can feel it. Go on, walk through, walk through, walk through. Okay, well, it is what it is. You get the idea, you get the concept. I'm going to keep moving, keep going on. Again, remembering, whenever you're out shooting, just scan where you are, right? So obviously this is street level. You know, you can see, like, for example, maybe in the evenings it might be a good shot, but you have this mirror or reflective surface. So you could definitely get a nice shot with this in the evenings when there's less fans. But keeping an eye up, so for this Chinese restaurant here, Four Seasons, if you look up, you can see that the kitchen is up there. And I'm sure in the evening, you might be able to get a nice shot by looking up. And it's a case of just making sure that you're having your situational awareness so you can have a look around you and see what's going on, so you can capture other things than not just eye level. Because I think sometimes we get, what's the word I'm looking for? We get tunnel vision where we're just looking where we see. I know that sounds really stupid, but we just look at eye level and that's about it, and we don't really look up or expand our field of view. So it's important to try and do that if and when you can, if it makes sense. He's really far away. Let's see if we can get this reflection shot. We're gonna go Pro, 1x 50. Is anyone walking up? Maybe this guy. Okay, that was good timing. I don't know if I did get him. I got him. That was nice. Sick. Okay, he's not perfectly in focus, but again, I think sometimes we're chasing a lot of the time that perfect image instead of just capturing as it is. You know, that's just how it happened. It displays the moment as true as I'd like it to, and I'm happy with the shot. So there we are. We can move forward and move on. Now, to be honest, the whole point of this video is not to big up how amazing this phone is or how this is going to change the world, but I think it's good to show the baseline of phones these days. And I would say this is a very baseline example. And I think most base phones are very good at being good at photography. It's just about how we can process the images after and how good the raw files are and the lenses. And obviously this is in collaboration with Leica, so we know that there has been some thought go into it. Leica aren't going to partner with brands without putting a bit of thought into it, because they have that name and that heritage attached to it. I understand that there will still be some downfalls because it is a phone, right? But the idea is that this isn't going to replace our cameras full time. It's just a case of, like, you know, the base of camera phone, the cameras on phones is getting very good that we could just use this for things like this, where we're just, like, you know, walking around the city or, you know, heading out somewhere or whatever. Then we can just take our phones if we so wish. I think actually I'll go down that route. There's a nice reflection shot that I haven't taken in a while, and it's always nice to get it on different occasions because different days, different moods, different people, different photo. And that's one of the advantages to London, really, is every day is different. Even if it's the same weather, the streets are always different in London. You never know really what you're going to get, so it's always good to go out and just shoot. So up here on this corner, there's basically a stacked mirror on the ceiling, so you can get a cool reflection shot of people behind you, and it goes basically all the way through this walkway, this tunnel, the same, so stacked all the way through. I'll show you it now. It's a cool photo to get. Let's have a look as well. It's too early. If anyone's in this pub, then they need their head checking. But there is a pub here on the left with some nice lighting. But I don't think anyone's that psycho to be in there this early in the morning. No, good. Faith in humanity, not restored, but feeling slightly better. Okay, so this is the reflection shot. So if we go Pro 50 5 times, aim up towards the mirror, which is cool. And then also, not only do you have the mirrors up above, you also have the nice reflection shot. So if I go to the right hand side, you get the person down the end, nice reflection. This will probably be a better as a slice. So at the moment we've got people on the left hand side which crowd the frame, so it's not a nice composition. So once they move past, I'll be able to get the shot that I want, which is the people down the end, which is a nicer composition because it's got cleaner edges to the frame. That's nice. Now when I'm saying slice, you can see on the screen what I mean by that. That's 17:6 aspect ratio, and I'm cropping that in post-production to get that aspect ratio, that feel, just because I like it. It's a personal preference. You don't have to go and do it. You know, everyone does their own thing. But for me, I like doing it. And it's because actually I did a campaign at the beginning of last year, 2025, with Fujifilm, and I was kind of introduced to this X-Pan kind of vibe, and I just fell in love with it. I just really loved it. So I try to use it if and when I can, because when I'm building my image set from the streets, wherever I'm shooting, then I can use those slices to give me an overall image set or story of a city. So here's a nice example of a slice. So if we go Pro, we'll go 5 times. If we go to the right slightly, you can kind of get some people walking. However, unfortunately today, there's too many cars on that side. It does look a bit... This is a nice slice with this dude. Maybe we're able to get a 1 times. 5 times is definitely better. And we can do portrait as well. Once the frame clears up slightly, it looks very good. So why not? We'll just push on to Regent Street. I might do Regent Street, down to Piccadilly Street, go on to Piccadilly Circus. What are we at now on this? So 25 minutes. So we can probably make it about a 35-minute video. And I'm not going to cut any of this. I want to just keep it as it is, the real, reality of shooting. Again, the whole point as well of me doing this non-edited vibe is also to give you a sense of how easy it is to take photos in your city or wherever you are. You can see literally all I'm doing is just walking around and getting some shots, and it's only taking about half an hour. So if you think before work, after work, you can get a couple of photos as you're on your way, commuting, or even on a Sunday, Saturday. Just spend that half an hour and you're going to be able to get like an image set that you can post on Instagram or make a little reel out of. There's always ways and means to create or publish or whatever and get yourself out there. It's just a case of putting in that half an hour, you know, to an hour and going for it basically. But we can cross in front of a Vi police car, make sure we don't get run over. Maybe we can get it from this side. 5 times pro mode, 50, and just get a little, might have to throw the umbrella up in a minute, but we will be finishing shortly. Again, if you want a chance to win this phone, all you got to do is buy something from my website. And if you've already bought something from my website, then you don't have to. You've already done it. So if you've already bought any of my presets in the past, you've already entered into this giveaway. But if you'd like to buy the presets and edit like me, or buy the course and learn how to be a full-time creator, then you'll also get entered into the giveaway as well. So we're going to go 0.6, bit of a wide shot, people going into the station. Not the best. We'll get another one over on the other side because it does look better. Get a bit of a top-down shot now with the umbrella. That's nice. Things do just generally look better with umbrellas, don't they? I don't know if that's a nice thing to say about people, that they look better with an umbrella over them, but hey, here we are. Just nice at 1 times of the bus. Raining quite hard now, so those umbrellas should be going up thick and fast for my moody London rainy vibes that I haven't shot in a while actually. Some London moody rainy vibes. Now the shot that I wanted to get was actually from standing up there, which is a bit annoying, but they're cleaning it, which is needed because it's actually disgusting. Right, it's time for the umbrella. Okay, because as much as I like the rain, being Welsh, I don't want to get absolutely drenched. And we're going to try and get a panning shot of something or someone as they go through. Let's just swap to 1 times quickly, just get this person as they go through. And then we're going to swap back to 5 times and get the person on the moped. Oh, that definitely didn't work. If it did work, then not entirely sure how. Let's get the driver 5 times as he goes through. Possibly worked. Got a Bentley 1 times. Make sure we're in raw. It's quite a cool shot. There's a brand new Bentley as well. Ah, this rain is crazy. Delivery driver. Should we see if this guy's up for a photo? Legend, thank you. Enjoy the rain. Wait, here you go. While you wait. Have a nice day, bro. To be honest, look, phones these days are really good. They are good enough for most of what we want to do in our day-to-day lives. Professionally, we can have a conversation about it until the end of time. But on day-to-day stuff, they are just good. And sometimes they take great photos. And that is nothing to do with the device. That is to do with the person with the device. And that's important to remember. A good photographer can use any device and get a great photo. So go out, create, have fun, take photos, get better at your trade. I'm not saying I'm a great photographer, but I can take great photos from time to time, and we all can do that because it's a numbers game 80 to 90% of the time. So go out, create, enjoy, have fun. And if you'd like the chance to win this, buy anything from my website, and I'm going to announce in 10 days' time the person that has won. I'll announce it over on Instagram, and I'll also announce it down in the comments. So if you're interested, make sure you're keeping an eye over on Instagram at Optical Wonder. Turn the notifications on for stories, and you'll see in 10 days' time when that goes live. So anything from my website, if you've bought already before, don't stress. If you want to buy my new preset pack, which is more newer than the old ones, they're also down there. 188 desktop presets, 164 mobile presets, all in one pack for £12. And also there's the £30 course, 10 modules, everything I've learned over the last 12 years, all in one space. With all that being said, create more, stress less, and I'll see you in the next one.